Hi guys, today is a product review day. We got a wonderful dual soldering station. The product is sponsored by Bakon. It's sent from the factory and they want us to know about it. Something important to mention is the unit is the BK8586MX. There is a similar product in the market, the 8586D. The difference is the D model uses a standard soldering iron and the tips are the classic 900 kind. That means even when you have a digital display, might be a little difference between the heating element that is inside and the tip that is outside. For the Model X got in evolution and were improved. As example, the tip is part of the heating element. That means the temperature we have in the display is the temperature of the heating element that is the same temperature of the tip. The setup is very easy. Put these two screws on this side or on the other side if it is more convenient to you, and assemble this piece. You can remove also those screws and flip it 180 degrees for either side is convenient to you. Use these holes and do not do it as I'm doing it now, because I'm just holding it to make the video, but you have to ensure from there, right? So I will put it by the moment here. This guy comes here. As you can imagine, this goes there. Don't leave it on the table, right? I wanted to make a mention of this very good design. This piece doesn't hit at all when the soldering iron is there. It's metal. Is heavy, very well designed. I have to congratulate you guys. You put some effort and engineering on it. Also, in this model, the heating element is part of the tip. Later, I will talk about the kind of tip it comes with it. What I wanted to make the remark now is this foam is ESD foam, so they are using ESD plastics here. Sadly, the unit doesn't say is ESD protection. I think the company is losing some points about it. I was doing a temperature test, and the unit when I started is set up the 180 degrees. So when I increase the temperature to 200 degrees, first test, first try, it gave me 98, and that's very good in accuracies. We're talking about 1% loss. That 1% loss could be because maybe the unit is 1 degree down Celsius, or maybe the heater is 1 degree down, or maybe my measurement unit is 1 degree down. But the real reason is because when I'm touching the surface, I have heat transfer in one side and I have a temperature losing in the other. For this kind of calibrations, is something that absorbs the whole tip and make that full temperature testing. So I will say the calibration is correct in 1% tolerance, and the unit is what it says. However, this unit, you can readjust the temperature according to one calibrator, and that's good when the temperature matters. In this video, I will not show how to do that. I just did the test, and I will explain just about how to use the unit. The good news is it's very easy to use. For some of you, the bad news is the power switch is behind. Okay, that's not a major problem because this is a soldering station close to you. The cords are always short, so this is not something that is 1 meter away against the wall. There is not any problem with turning it on. It's important to mention that some units might have a password, a PIN code, and has to be eliminated. So if that's the case, and also let me let you know that that is to fix some temperature. If it is critical and you don't want it to be moved, you can fix that the password and it will not pass from there. There will not be changes. In this video, I'm not going to talk about it because I'm going to talk only about using the unit. So how to eliminate? Just hold the 3 buttons in the front. Let me see if I can make it easier. Okay, like that, and power it on. If it shows 555, that means the password is eliminated. Let me do it again. The password is eliminated. Now, this display is for the soldering iron. This display is for the hot air. This knob is for the air flow. This is the set and the function. And here is temperature up, temperature down. With one switch, I turn on this guy. With another switch, I turn on this other guy. And thanks to heaven, there is an USB extra connector. That's great. So, if I want to use the soldering iron, I only have to turn it on there and say set. I can jump step by step, or holding I can go faster and fix the temperature I wanted. When it stops blinking, it will keep the temperature I asked it for. Same thing here, and I can use both simultaneously in this unit. The hot air has its own independent temperature, and I can tell the system set. Now this one is blinking, now the other one is blinking. I can go with step by step or holding to go faster. When it stops blinking, it will set the temperature I wanted there. Why I don't see it? Because the unit is in standby, and that's great. It has a switch here and it detects when I'm using it or I am not using it. But if I take it out, automatically will go to the temperature I set up. And when I put the guy to rest, it will detect it's resting and will go to sleep as soon as it cools down. As I said, with this I control the airflow. Now, I guess some of you have a question. How to change the degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit? Let me turn off both guys by the moment. If I punch up and down at the same time, now I have the option to go to number 5, and I set in Celsius, or I can change to Fahrenheit, either way. What is important is I will leave it down in Fahrenheit. When it stops blinking, I have access here again. I will go to 0, and in 0 I will press set and will be success. So that means next time I turn on the unit, it's going to be in Fahrenheit. Now let's come back to Celsius. Pay attention again. I will punch the two buttons together. I select number 5, set Fahrenheit, Celsius, let it to stop blinking, go to 0, set again, success, Celsius. Alright, easy to use. Now let me make a soldering test with this kind of tip. The microphone will sound different because I recorded this part with another kind of microphone without filtering. So let's pay attention, because many of you will say, Bob, this kind of tip is not for general soldering and it's the kind of tip that comes with it. If you will ask me before this part of the video, I will say you are absolutely right. But I give a chance myself too, and I try it and I got impressed, and let's watch that part of the video. Probably many of you is not familiar with this kind of tip, right? Probably even myself. We use something bigger than this for removing the soldering with a solder wick. But let's try soldering too. Alright, my friends. Now the worst scenario with a tip I have never used before. This is the size of one chip, this is the size of the other chip, but the challenge will be to solder this component here. And if I compare next to the chip, it looks like my component is very small. Alright, the worst flukes already set. Believe it or not, I have months that I don't do any soldering, so now I increased the temperature. still move it. It's hard to me to get the angle. Alright, after months that I don't do soldering, you could see how much my hand was shaking. Let's make a close-up of this. Alright, the challenge was if I am able to do the soldering with this kind of tip, because the knife tip we use it always for cleaning parts areas, but come on guys, it works nicely. I got impressed. If you will ask for my opinion, in my opinion I will say no, but in the practice after doing it, I got impressed even myself. So yes, it's possible and very nice. I never tried that kind of tips for solderings like that. Do you see guys, as engineer, I have never been right or wrong. Why? Because numbers, mathematics, the formula, the practice, the testing, the results, that's the answer. So I don't have any credit by being right or wrong. If you ask my opinion, I will tell you probably not after doing the experiments myself. Yes, it's possible, and by the way, it's nice. I like it. It comes with a little wire and a mini banana connector behind. What is it for? It's to put the unit to sleep if you add a switch or general control to it. Let's make a test. 250 degrees, now it's heating, and if I touch the ground with it, like here on the screw, let me see if you can catch it there. Pay attention to the display when I touch this banana with the chassis. It went to sleep. And what happened if I open it? Oh, now it's active. So this is a system if you want to make automatic soldering process, or you want a pedal, or you want a timer, if you want a general control for the bench or something like that. It's an extra resource that you have there. I got impressed by the quality of the product. I really recommend it. Bakon is a company focusing innovation. They have a lot of products you can see. Go to the link down below and find and watch whatever they have in products. They have products for small workshops, for your bench, for a factory, for high volume soldering, for very fine things, for heavy jobs. They have everything that you can find there. Also, I got impressed with the engineering, not only what they do with this thing, because it's very cold, guys. Here I feel a little bit of cold, and maybe it's the hot air that is coming from the tip. But the rest is a very high engineering, very light, super light. The cord, very soft, silicone one. And there is not heat radiation to the tip at all. Excellent temperature transfer to the tip, as we saw with the calibrator. And the most impressive is here. I can touch all this area, and it's 235 degrees since several minutes, and it's totally cold. Maybe 5 degrees, probably I'm lying, 5 degrees. It's almost the same temperature than the table command. So guys, it's impressive. They make a lot of engineering in this beautiful, gorgeous thing, very massive. I'm impressed with that. Locked for the cable connector. The distance between the buttons is big. I can put my finger and punch in between and do not press any button. Well designed. The timing for the soldering iron, and the sleeping timing, and the feature of activating or deactivating the hot air. Detail by detail, this version of the product is an improvement of the last model. The last model is still in the market because it's oriented for a kind of more heavy job. But sometimes you have to try something new, get out of the comfort zone to find the innovation. If you will ask me for my opinion, I will say this knife tip is not for general soldering, but after making the test myself, I have to bite my tongue and now recommend it, because in the board I put the smallest component from the training board with that instrument, and it's the most complicated because the distance between the pins is the shortest one, and it did the job nicely, even with an old dinosaur with a checking hand like me doing it. As I said, the unit is in metal. There is an ESD foam here and good design for ESD protection. This unit, the power cable, comes with ground pin, what is good for us because we love our electronic system to do not apply noise to the network, on the mains network, but also this is metal. And when I say this is metal, for some of you it doesn't have any importance, but for another of you who works with the radio frequency and the reflex of the radiation gets in the instrumentation, VNAs, spectrum analyzers, so stuff like that, this is great for us, for the electronics laboratory, because it reduces the effect of the emissions, radiated emissions on the line. So thumbs up for Bakon, congratulations, I recommend it. The links are down below for you to find more products or to find distributors. A special note about the company is they are looking for distributors, agencies for sale in Europe, in Latin America and North America. So you are welcome. If you have a business about equipment selling, get in contact with them, and I hope you're going to be distributor too. See you in the next video with more products review, and a thumbs up for Bakon.